Welcome back. And Republicans will hold a primary next month right here in Nevada, but the votes are symbolic because the event that is going to set our state back more than $5 million has a lot of people questioning, what are we really doing here? So Rachel O'Brien from OpenTheBooks.com joins us live. And let me set the scene here, Rachel. State law in 2021 switched Nevada from presidential caucuses to primaries, but the Republican Party is still going to hold a caucus, making the results of the primary election symbolic. So talk to me about the method to the madness here.
Yeah, so like you said, the Republicans still want to hold a caucus. They sued the state to try to prevent the primary, and they just recently dropped the suit because the primary is happening. So what's going on is registered Republicans voters can vote in the primary on, February 6th. Nikki Haley is the main candidate. There are a few lesser-known candidates on the ballot. And then the caucus, where most of the candidates really are running, that caucus is February 8th. You have former President Trump, Ron DeSantis. I know Chris Christie just dropped out yesterday. So businessman Vivek Ramaswamy and Ryan Brinkley, they're all going to be at the caucus. And so the Republican Party will award delegates at the caucus, not the primary. Whoever wins the primary, let's assume Nikki Haley, will only have a symbolic win.
Okay, and for people who are maybe not closely tied to this like we are, a caucus is almost like a big pep rally where everyone is involved and everyone sees who you are throwing your weight behind, where a primary process is more private. With that said, the Democratic Party is not going to hold the caucus. They are going to award delegates in the primary. Is that included in that $5 million price tag we talked about?
Yeah, so it's $5.2 million. That's deemed a conservative fiscal impact. That comes from the Nevada Secretary of State. It could be much more. So yes, the cost to hold the primary, again, they're required to do this by state law. The cost to hold a primary, $5.2 million. Democrats and Republicans will have their primaries. The Democrats are not going to hold a caucus. They will, whoever wins the Democratic primary, they will award the delegates to the primary winner. Of course, that's President Joe Biden, author Marianne Williamson, a few other lesser known candidates. And so, the cost really is mostly to the counties. This $5.2 million, again, that's estimated. Then the counties, they have to mail out ballots to registered voters. They can request reimbursement from the state for these costs. So hopefully they'll get reimbursed. And there's no cost to taxpayers for the caucus. The party pays for the caucus.
And then final question, Rachel, before we let you go, why is the Republican Party able to get around this state law requiring a primary? And have we ever seen anything like this before?
Yeah, the Supreme Court has ruled on a few occasions that political parties are allowed to control their presidential nomination process. So even though the state says you have to have a primary, the party can still adjust the process and award delegates how they see fit. This has happened a few times before. In 2016 in Washington State, Bernie Sanders won the Democratic caucus in March. He got most of the state's delegates. Hillary Clinton won the primary in May. Again, that was a symbolic win for her, and that primary cost the state $9 million. So we're seeing the same thing here in Nevada.
All right. Thank you for making sense of it all. Rachel O'Brien from OpenTheBooks.com. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you again next week.